Hi guys, welcome back. Let's review the steps involved if you're a cash buyer and a finance seller. This one is a little bit more tricky as there is a slight element of risk involved, and I'm going to go through the two ways that you can protect yourself if you are dealing with a finance seller. So first step is that we need to sign an MOU between the buyer and the seller. Once the MOU has been signed, the seller will go ahead and apply for a liability letter, which is a letter from the bank which states the amount of the loan that's outstanding to the bank. Now, the next step, there's two options that we can do from here on in. First one is we can go to the land department and put a block on the property, so the buyer and seller will both go down there, and there's a minimal fee involved for that. Put a block on the property, and then the cash buyer can go ahead and write a manager's check in the name of the bank of the seller for the outstanding amount, because then he will feel secure that once the loan has been paid, he is protected. The other way is to hire a conveyance company which would step in and take power of attorney from both buyer and seller and handle the whole case for both of you. Now, once that step has been done and the loan has been cleared, approximately a week or so later, a clearance letter will be issued from the bank of the seller stating that there's no longer any outstanding fee on the property. Once that clearance letter is in hand, the buyer and the seller can arrange to go to the developer for an NOC. Now, each developer has a different procedure for that, and it takes them a different length of time to prepare it. But once the NOC has been applied for, it will be ready between 5 to 7 days later, and with the NOC in hand, the seller can go and collect it. The buyer and the seller can go to one of the transfer locations and transfer the property. So just to review the steps involved if you're a cash buyer with a finance seller, the steps are as follows. Step 1, sign an MOU. Step 2, apply for a liability letter from the bank of the seller. Step 3, which is optional, go to the land department and block the property or hire a conveyance company. Step 4, buyer writes a check in the name of the bank of the seller for the amount of the liability letter. Step 5, bank of the seller will issue a clearance letter. Step 6, buyer and seller will arrange to go for an NOC. Step 7, when NOC is ready, seller will collect it and buyer and seller will arrange to go for the transfer in the transfer locations. I hope this minute has been useful. Thank you for joining us at Elysian.